Good morning, happy Thanksgiving. Today we're going to do a feel good flow to honor this beautiful holiday, one of my personal favorites. And we're going to do a feel good flow to sort of get our body ready to eat a delicious big meal tonight and also to get into the mood of the holiday season. So we're going to start with a gratitude meditation and then get into a feel good flow to sort of move all the joints and get our body ready. So whenever you're ready, we're going to start in a comfortable position for meditation. So make this your practice. Find your position that feels right. It can be a cross-legged position, maybe with a blanket on top, in the bottom of your sits bones, or maybe laying down in a chair. Find whatever feels right for you and get yourself settled there, maybe closing your eyes or maybe a light gaze as we begin to tune in into our breath. Gently following the natural rhythm of our breath. And gently maybe observing or getting curious of what your breath has to tell you. Maybe using your breath to tune in into how you're feeling today. Or just in general, getting curious and tuning in to any sensation or feeling that arises here. Setting the mood, the curiosity you're setting for the rest of the class. So we want to get curious with any feeling or sensation that arises throughout the class. Setting that mindset of curiosity. And as any sensation or feeling arises, we're gently going to observe it, respect it, be with it, and finally honor it as we let go. And this process is one that we'll repeat with any sensation or feeling that comes up throughout today's class, or maybe even throughout the whole holiday season. It's a good practice to observe without judgment. And this is how we're going to show up to ourselves today and express gratitude towards ourselves for everything we are, by honoring ourselves completely and respecting all parts of ourselves. If your mind wanders, just gently coming back to your breath with that curious mindset. So if anything arises, we can go through the process of being with it, respecting it, and honoring it. Gently, we're going to shift our attention to create an intention for this class. We're going to set an intention of make it your own. Fill in the rest of this sentence. I am grateful for. And if it's tough to come up with something to be grateful for right now, you can always be grateful for your breath. And this is the intention that we'll use throughout the class, with every movement, every breath, coming back to this intention. Gently bringing your hands into Anjali Mudra in front of your heart, bowing down your head towards your hands, towards your heart, repeating your intention once again, honoring it, and gently blinking your eyes open, bringing your hands onto your knees. From here, finding a long spine, shoulders broaden, feeling your sits bones ground. And we're going to do circles around our hips, just beginning to bring movement into the spine, the hip area. Just making this your own, maybe rounding your back, staying a little longer wherever it feels right. And keeping present with your breath. Trying to incorporate every part of your spine, maybe even your neck. And whenever you're ready, towards the other side. As you focus in your breath, you keep your intention present, giving you a purpose and somewhere to dedicate all this energy that we're putting into the class. And gently coming back through center. Keeping that long spine, feeling almost as if you'd have a little wire that pulls through the crown of the head, almost separating your vertebrae a little more. And we're going to take our ear towards our right shoulder, our right ear towards our right shoulder. Chin in towards the chest, left ear towards the left shoulder. So half circles, and from there towards the other side. Beginning to loosen any tension that we might be carrying in our shoulders and our neck. Gently taking your time. And lastly, we're going to meet all with the right ear towards the right shoulder. And we're going to take the right hand, gently placing it in the side of the head. And the same weight of the hand is going to weigh the head, opening the whole left side of the shoulder and neck. Holding here. And other side. Left hand towards the left side of the head. Making sure you're relaxing the right shoulder. And coming back through center. Placing your hands in front of you. We're going to meet in a tabletop position. Hands under our shoulders. Knees hip width apart. And finding our way into some cat-cows. Inhaling, opening the chest, looking up. Exhaling, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone in, looking in towards your navel. And continue at your own pace between these two poses. And as we come into these repetitive positions where the breath guides the movement, it's a really nice place to repeat your mantra or stay present with your breath and your intention. Couple more times. Again, making this your own. If you want to wiggle or twitch in some other way, feel free to do so. And last one, we'll meet back through center. Shifting our sits bones back towards our heels, child's pose. For this child's pose, you can either choose your own version, either knees together or knees apart. Lengthening your arms forward. And if it's available to you, we're going to bring our hands to look up towards the sky in a prayer pose. If this feels very light, you can always place a pillow under your elbows to make it a little deeper. As we open the chest, gently maybe closing our eyes. I'm grateful for today. Coming back to your intention. Making every movement, every breath, an expression of your gratitude. And gently releasing the hands, coming back into a tabletop position, lifting the right arm up towards the ceiling, twisting open towards the right, left hip crease pulls back, maybe looking up. Inhale, and on the exhale, bringing the right arm under the left as if you were threading a needle, placing the back of the right shoulder on the mat, resting the side of the head. Feel free to keep the left hand where it is, or maybe you can take it behind you, opening the left shoulder slightly as well. Closing your eyes, we're going to stay here for a couple breaths. Hello, Ramona. And placing the left hand back onto the mat if it wasn't there. Coming back through center, other side. Lifting the left arm up as you pull the right hip crease back to square off the hips. Keeping the twist in the spine, not in the hips. Maybe looking up, holding here. Inhale. And on the exhale, threading the left arm under the right as you place the back of the shoulder on the mat. Releasing the side of the head. And maybe the right arm goes behind you if it feels right. If not, just leave it on the mat. And we'll stay here for a couple breaths. Gently, if your hand is not on the mat, taking the right hand back onto the mat, coming back through tabletop position. Coming into our first down dog of the class, placing your toes onto the mat, lifting the hips up. Feel free to make this down dog a little wider than usual. And coming onto your toes, bending the knees. We're going to take a couple seconds here for you to do whatever feels right in your first down dog. I like to bend one knee and the other as I begin to lengthen the backs of my legs. But gently we'll find our way into a regular standard down dog, feet hip width apart if that feels right. Keeping the knees slightly bent so you can really find a long spine.
So all the way from your hands to your sits bones, there's a straight line, one line of energy. And holding here, taking a deep inhale and sighing it all out through the mouth. From down dog, beginning to build a little fire to warm up and get into the poses a little softer. We're going to shift into plank, from down dog into plank in a dynamic way. So in the inhale, coming through plank, shifting the shoulders over the wrists. On the exhale, shift back into down dog. We're going to repeat that 3 more times at your own pace. Inhaling, moving through your breath, not letting the hips sink in plank. And continue finding the rhythm between these 2 poses. After your 4th plank, we'll meet in down dog and shift one more time into plank. This time we're going to hold the plank for a couple breaths. Trying to keep the breath fluid, not letting the hips sink, belly button lifting. 2 more breaths. And gently shifting the hips up once again. Separating your feet a little wider than hip width. You're going to walk your hands back towards your feet as you let your hips drop, coming into Malasana. For many, it might be a little strenuous to place your heels down. Feel free to let your heels lift. If you have a blanket, you can place a blanket to support the heels. If not, trying to place the whole foot on the ground, hands in front of the heart. As you push your elbows against the knees to open the heart a little more and lengthen through the crown of the head. Holding here. Inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to lengthen the legs and coming into a rag doll. So feet are a little wider than hip width. Our torso is hanging heavy. Maybe the knees are a little bent. And we're going to do a spinal roll all the way to standing. If you have any problems in your low back, it might be better to do this with a straight back. This is supposed to feel good and sort of bring movement into the spine. Gently pulling the belly button in, we're going to lift one vertebrae at a time, letting the head hang heavy. Last thing that comes up is the head. Shoulders roll back. Crown of the head lengthens, bringing your feet hip width apart. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, open the heart, widen the hands, reaching back. And hands in front of the heart. Gently walking our way towards the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. On the exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, step the left foot back, keeping the right foot between both hands. Placing the back knee down, the back of the foot, lift the torso up, low lunge. Shifting your hips back slightly so your knee is over your ankle and your tailbone is really lengthened down so you don't crunch your low back. Arms reach up. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower the hands down, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, step it back, plank pose. Placing the knees onto the mat, lowering your chest between your hands, sliding through cobra. Downward facing dog. Other side, lifting the left leg up, keeping the hips squared. Bringing the left knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands, lowering the back knee down, the back of the foot, low lunge. Reaching the arms up. Feeling the crown of the head lengthen, the low ribs are tying in. And lower your hands back to frame your left foot, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, bringing the right foot to meet the left. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, swan dive down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, and this time step the right foot back. Lowering the back knee, the back of the foot, low lunge. Keeping the hips squared so the left hip crease pulls back, keeping the left knee over the left ankle. Inhale. On the exhale, lower the hands to square the left foot, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, step back into plank pose. Lowering the knees down, lowering the heart between the hands, chest, and slide through cobra. Reaching the crown of the head up. Maybe you can find a little more length in the arms as you warm up your spine. And find your way into downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg up. Reaching the right knee into the nose as you gently place a foot between your hands. Low lunge. Lifting the torso. Reaching the arms up. Squaring off the hips. Inhale, and on the exhale, lowering the hands down, placing the back toes onto the mat, lifting the back knee, stepping the left foot to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We're in a flow meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, step back through your vinyasa into plank, either knees down or not. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now this transition might be a little tricky, so feel free to pause the video and watch and then do it, or try to follow. I'm going to take it step by step. We're going to bring the right knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands. You're going to place the back knee down, the back of the foot, and you're going to lengthen the right leg, bringing the left shin, so the back shin, parallel to the back of the mat. From here, the toes are facing the side of the mat, and you're going to walk the right hand along the right leg, lengthening the left arm next to your ear. Inhale. And now gently come back through center, planting the left hand onto the mat. The hand is aligned with the knee and the foot, reaching the right arm up. Lifting the right leg up. Pushing the hips towards the front of the mat. Don't let the hips sink back. And as you push the hips forward, you're going to bend the flying leg, reaching for the back foot with your right hand. Pushing the foot against the hand, opening the heart. Gently releasing the foot, lengthening the leg, placing the leg back down, lifting the torso, coming back from where you came from. So bending the right leg, lengthening the left leg back towards the back of the mat, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, step it through your vinyasa. Plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Other side. Left knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands. Lowering the back knee down, the back of the foot, lifting the torso up. So you're going to lengthen the left leg as you bring the back shin parallel to the back of the mat. The toes, the left toes are facing the side of the mat. You're trying to plant the whole foot down as you reach the left hand towards the left. Inhale and come back through center. As you place the right hand down, the right hand is aligned with the knee and the foot. Left arm reaches up as you push your hips forward, lifting the left leg. Don't let the hips sink, so you're not sitting into your hips. The hips are pushing forward, bending the flying leg, reaching for the back of the foot as you open the heart. The foot pushes against the hand, opening the shoulder, the whole front body. Gently, with control, lengthening the left leg, reaching the left arm up, lowering the foot, coming back through center, doing the reverse of what we just did. So bending the left leg, coming through your low lunge, stepping the left foot back, plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, and on the exhale, step your feet towards your hands, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold, and come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We're going to come through one Surya Namaskar A, one Sun Salutation A. To get into the groove, into the flow, feel free to do it at your own pace. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, step or float back through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. If you're an up dog, knees lift. Downward facing dog. Three rounds of breath in your down dog. Feeling the sits bones reach up towards the ceiling as your shoulders broaden. And bend your knees, look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We'll continue meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale, step or float through your vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Once in down dog, bringing the right knee into the nose, as close into the nose as possible, placing the foot between both hands. Lowering the back knee down, the back of the foot. Lifting the torso, low lunge. Make sure the right hip crease is pulling back, squaring off the hips. Arms reach up, and we're going to open our arms like a T. So arms open to the sides. Broadening the collarbones, opening the chest. Inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to take your right arm over, left arm under, giving yourself a big hug. Try to grab the backs of your shoulders. Maybe tucking your chin slightly. Just open those shoulders. And gently release, opening the arms to the sides once again. And placing your hands back down to square off the right foot. Lengthening the right foot, half splits. From the half splits, make sure your hips are over, your left hip is over the left knee, and the right hip crease is pulling back. Maybe you're pushing through the heel. Heart lifts. And walking your hands back to the front, low lunge, reaching your arms up. Bending the back knee, you're going to go to grab the back foot. It might be a lot on the back knee, so feel free to place a blanket or a pillow to support the back knee. And if you can't reach, you can always use a strap or belt. If not, just hold the low lunge. We're pulling the knee towards our glute, opening the left front hip. And gently release, reaching the arms up, placing the hands back down, step it back through your vinyasa, or feel free to skip them and just meet in downward facing dog. Other foot, other side, stepping the left foot with as much control as possible. If not, if it doesn't reach, assist it with your hand. Placing the back knee down, the back of the foot, low lunge. Reaching the arms up. Low ribs are tying in, so we're not splurging the ribs towards the front of the mat. And we're going to reach our arms towards the sides. Opening the heart. It's almost as if the heart wanted to lift up. And this time we'll wrap the left arm over the right, giving ourselves a big hug, broadening the shoulders, the upper back. Squeezing into the midline to keep the balance. And gently opening the arms up to the sides, once again lifting the heart. And placing your hands back down, squaring off the left foot, half splits. Pushing through the left heel to open the back of the left leg. Heart reaches forward. Breathe. Hamstring openers can be very deep for many of us. And gently walking the hands back towards the front of the mat, squaring off the left foot, low lunge. Reaching for the back foot with both hands. Trying not to splurge the ribs out, just to reach. We're still keeping the belly button in and up. Low ribs tying in. And gently releasing, lengthening the arms up, placing the hands back down, going through your vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Your vinyasa can mean skipping the vinyasa. From down dog, you're going to bring the right knee towards the left armpit, shifting the shoulders over your wrists, lengthening the right leg out, placing the foot onto the mat. Lengthening the left arm up, fallen triangle. From here, you're going to push your hips up, lengthening the left arm back like a rock star position, feeling as if you are literally becoming a star. And gently placing the left hand back down, bringing the right foot back through center, lifting the knee, bringing the knee into the nose, placing the foot outside of the right hand, coming into lizard pose, placing the back knee, the back of the foot. Feel free to either lift the foot off the mat or keep it grounded, whatever feels right, and feel free to stay either on your hands or coming onto your forearms for lizard pose. Always remembering that whatever you choose to do with your knee, with your foot, the knee remains in line with the foot. So we're not twerking the knee. Both hips remain grounded. Remain looking down. Taking deep breaths here in this deep release of the hips. And you can either stay on your forearms or come back onto your hands. You're going to reach for the back foot with the right hand, opening the chest towards the right. If this feels like too much, you can always grab a strap. If not, just remain in the pose that we were before in regular lizard. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can come onto your forearm.
This is a nice opener with a lot going on. As you roll the shoulder back. Now gently, wherever you are, if you're grabbing the foot, let go of the foot. We'll all meet with our hands on the mat, the foot grounded, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee. Keeping the feet grounded, the hips center. You're going to walk your hands towards the left corner of the mat, maybe lengthening even deeper, even longer. And walking the hands back in, wiggling the foot between both hands, stepping it back through your vinyasa or directly into downward facing dog. Other side. Bringing the left knee towards the right armpit, shifting the shoulders over the wrists, lengthening the left leg out to the side as you place the foot on the mat. Coming into fallen triangle, coming onto the side of the back foot as well, reaching the right arm up. From here, just a slight shift of position. You're going to reach the right arm back as you push the hips up. Rock star. And gently placing the right hand back down, bringing the left knee into the nose as you place the left foot outside of the left hand. Lowering the back knee, the back of the foot, making sure that both of the hip creases are looking, both of the hip crusts are looking down. And from here, whatever option you took on one side, take it on this side. Remember, each side is different. We're not completely symmetrical. Coming into lizard pose. Holding here for a couple breaths. Feel free to stay wherever you are, or if you reached for the back foot, do so on this side as well. Either with the forearm on the mat, hand on the mat. And gently releasing the back foot. We'll all meet with our hands grounded on the mat, the foot grounded on the mat as well. Placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee. We're going to walk both hands towards the right corner of the mat, making sure our hips remain centered. So we're not just shoving everything towards the corner of the mat, just the torso. And walk the hands back in, wiggling the foot between both hands as we flow, meeting in downward facing dog. As we meet in down dog, we're going to shift into plank pose. We're going to come into side plank pose. There's many variations and modifications to this pose. Feel free to do your version of it. We're going to come onto the side of the right foot, shifting the weight towards the right hand. You can either stack the feet or one foot in front of the other. Reaching the left arm up. Reaching the hips up. We're going to lift the top leg if available, coming into wild thing, bending the top leg as you let the foot fall behind you. Reaching the hips up, arm behind you. Inhale. And come back through center. Placing the left hand down, reaching the left knee into the nose. Placing the foot between your hands. Low lunge. From low lunge, we're going to open our arms, reaching the left arm back, right arm forward. Finding the strength in the upper back and mid back to keep the twist. So the twist isn't coming from your shoulders, it's actually coming from your spine. And gently lowering the right hand down, reaching the left arm up. Maybe looking up, reaching the left hip crease back.
placing the back toes onto the mat, lifting the back knee. We're going to come into a dynamic modified side plank. So we're going to place the edge of the right foot on the mat, bringing the left foot in front of your hips. Arm next to your ear. On the exhale, lower the hips down, reaching the left arm towards the right foot. Inhale, pushing the hips up. Exhale, lower down. Two more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale, lower. You're going to place both hands onto the mat in front of you. You're going to come into Skandasana from here. So you're going to make both foot look forward as you continue the turn, looking towards the right edge of the mat, coming into Skandasana. The right foot is looking up. The left foot is out in a diagonal. Heart lifts. Again, similar to Malasana Yogi Squat, your heel might not feel comfortable reaching all the way down. You can support it with a blanket or just come onto your toes. As you reach your right arm up, maybe looking up. Left arm opens the hip a little more as it pushes against the leg. Inhale. And on the exhale, coming into a runner's lunge, squaring off the left foot, placing the back toes onto the mat. Going through your vinyasa, plank pose, either down dog or through chaturanga. Upward facing dog. We're going to do the other side. Coming back through plank pose, placing the edge of the left foot onto the mat, bringing your weight towards the left hand, reaching the right arm up. Hips push up towards the ceiling. Feel free to stay here or lift the right leg up, bending the right leg, coming into Wild Thing, placing the foot behind you as you push the hips up, reaching the right arm behind, opening the whole front body, and gently placing the right hand down, bringing the knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands, low lunge. Reaching both arms up. Inhale, and on the exhale, twist open, reaching the right arm back, the left arm forward. Again, the twist you find from the mid-back. So it's not just moving your arms towards where you want the twist to be. It's actually twisting through the spine. Crown of the head lengthens. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower the left hand down, reach your right arm up. Keeping the twist. Reaching the right hip crease back. Placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee. So now we're coming through these funky transitions. You're going to wiggle the right foot in front of your hips as you come onto the edge of the left foot. Right arm reaches up, and we take it next to our ear. On the exhale, we lower the hips down. Inhale, push up. 3 more. Gently moving in the rhythm, according to the rhythm of our breath. The more gracefully we move, the more we honor ourselves and our body. Last one, reaching up, placing the right hand down. It's like if we were turning onto the other side, coming into Skandasana, placing the right foot down at a diagonal, looking towards the left corner of the mat. The left foot looks up, Skandasana on the other side. Right arm inside of the right leg to push that leg a little more to open. Left arm up, opening the heart, reaching the crown of the head up. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower the left hand down, coming into runner's lunge as we prepare to go through our flow, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale. And on the exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. From here, we're going to separate our feet mat width apart. So around an arm span of distance, around under our wrists. And we're going to bring our heels in just slightly so our feet end up at a diagonal. We're going to bend our knees, coming into goddess pose, lengthening our arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to lengthen the tailbone down so we're not sticking our butt out and splurging the ribs out. There's a light engagement of the belly button and the low belly. Inhale. And on the exhale, keeping the knees bent, you're going to let the torso fold forward, reaching for the mat, keeping the legs bent, letting the head hang heavy. And now lengthening the legs, bringing the feet parallel to each other. So we're at a wide angle forward fold. Long spine. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. Coming all the way up to standing. Long spine. Once again, bringing our feet in, just the heels in just slightly for goddess pose, bending the knees. Reaching our arms up, sort of like a star pose. So our arms are out at a diagonal as well. Inhale. And on the exhale, lengthen the legs. We're going to do that 2 more times, dynamically. Inhale. Bend. Exhale. Lengthen. Last one. Inhale. Bend. And lengthen. Once again, bend. Meeting in a bent position, placing our hands on our thighs, twisting over towards the right. So as we push the left leg out, we might look over our right shoulder, twisting over towards the right. Deep breaths. Other side. Last one on each side, twisting over towards the right. Last one. Twisting over towards the left. Back through center. Lengthening the legs. Bringing both feet parallel to each other. Last, forward fold. Interlacing your hands behind you. Rolling the shoulders back as you let the torso fold over, letting the hands hang overhead. If this feels really tight, you can always use a belt, a strap, whatever's in handy, a towel, to separate your hands a little and make this a little more accessible. For many of us, this might look way closer into the torso, and that's okay. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold, and come all the way up with a strong, long back. From here, you're going to open the right foot to look towards the front of the mat. Opening your arms, warrior 2. Shoulders remain over the hips. We're not surfing forward. Inhale. Remembering to breathe. Bringing the right forearm onto the right thigh, left arm next to the ear. Feel free to stay here, or maybe lengthen the right arm inside of the right leg. Looking up, reaching the left arm up towards the ceiling, lengthening the right leg, coming into this Trikonasana pose, triangle pose. Gently shifting the gaze down. You might want to readjust your feet. You're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, shifting the weight towards the right foot as you lift the left leg, opening the torso towards the left side of the mat. Making sure that the flying leg is active, you're pushing through the heel. Maybe you're bending the standing leg for more stability. Feel free to stay here or take it into Chapasana, candy cane pose, as you reach for the left foot with the left hand and push the foot against the hand to open
the front of the leg, the shoulder, the whole front body. Gently releasing the foot, coming back through warrior two, bending the right leg, and lengthen the right leg, closing off the right foot. Other side, opening the left, opening your arms along the legs. Shoulders remain over the hips. If I were to push against your hands, you'd be able to resist my push because your arms are strong, upper back is sturdy. And gently as you shift forward, you place your left forearm onto the left thigh, reaching the right arm next to the ear. Extended side angle. There's one line of energy from the right tip of the finger to the back foot. And now either staying here or lengthening the left arm inside of the left leg as you reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Lengthening the left leg, coming into Trikonasana as you open the heart towards the right side. Feel free to stay here or shift the weight towards the left foot as you come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Maybe bending the standing leg just slightly. If you have a block, it's nice to use here under your left hand. If not, just bend the leg as much as you need. Opening the chest towards the right side. And maybe taking it to Chapasana if you did on the other side. Reaching for the right foot as you push the foot against the hand. Gently letting go. We'll all meet in warrior two. Inhale. And on the exhale, lengthen the left leg. Closing off the feet. We'll meet with both feet in the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, step back into down dog or through plank. Upward facing dog, meeting in downward facing dog. Bringing the right shin towards the front of the mat, coming into pigeon pose as you open the right hip. Lengthening the left leg back. Making sure your hips are squared. It might be nice to place a block or blanket under the right glute. And as you find your hips squared, inhale in through the nose. Sigh it all out through the mouth as you completely surrender over your right leg. You can make a little pillow with your hands or find a blanket to support your forehead as we're going to stay here for a couple breaths. Gently lifting the torso up as you swing the left leg forward, bringing the right foot inside of the left thigh, turning your torso to face towards the left leg as you bow down over the left leg. And trying to reach your heart forward. And gently lifting it up, lengthening the right leg towards the front of the mat. Again, reaching your heart forward. I like to tempt my fingertips and walk my hands forward to reach and lengthen the spine. And coming all the way back up. We're going to cross our legs, finding our way back into down dog to prepare to do the other side. Placing the hands down, stepping it back, downward facing dog.
This time bringing the left shin towards the front of the mat, pigeon pose on the left side, reaching the right leg back, making sure you're squaring off your hips as you bow down over your left leg. As you find yourself surrendering into this pose, find it that you're surrendering into your mantra, surrendering to today's intention. You're bowing down. And coming back to that way to honor ourselves every time something arises. Observe it, respect it, and honor it. If it's good, bad, whatever it is. Gently lifting the torso up, lengthening the right leg towards the front of the mat, bringing the left foot inside of the right thigh as you fold over the right leg. Once again, reaching the heart up, the crown of the head up, lengthening the left leg towards the front of the mat, Dandasana, and walking your hands forward, Paschimottanasana. Heart reaches forward and all the way back up as you find your way onto your back. If there's any other back bend that you prefer to do, feel free to do so. We are going to do together two bridge poses, and if you want to make that second one a wheel pose, please be careful. We didn't necessarily warm up for deep back bends, but if it's in your practice, feel free to do so. I'm just going to do two bridge poses. So bringing our heels in towards our glutes, arms next to the torso, palms of the hands facing down. We're going to push our hips up as we shove our shoulders under our chest, interlacing our fingers under our hips. Pushing our hips up as the heart reaches towards the roof of the mouth. Imagine you have a block between your thighs so they remain parallel to each other. Inhale and release down. One more time. Inhale, lift. And release down, bringing both knees into your chest, giving yourself a big hug. First and foremost, giving yourself, expressing gratitude towards yourself for everything you did, for showing up for yourself, for your body, for doing everything that it did, supporting you. Gently opening your arms out to the sides, letting the knees fall over towards the right as you look over towards the left. And coming back through center, other side, transitioning gently. I'm grateful for you, Ramona. And we're going to come back through center, lengthening your legs forward. Arms next to the torso, palms of the hands facing up. Before we completely surrender into Shavasana, I want you to bring your intention back to the front of your attention and almost focusing on it in that area between the eyebrows, what some call the third eye, area of consciousness. And as you focus in that area, be present with your intention of today's class, for today, or maybe for this holiday season. And gently drifting off, letting any control of the mind, the body, let it go. As you let yourself be completely in Shavasana. I will leave you here for you to take as long of a Shavasana as you please, as you can. I hope you enjoyed. Happy Thanksgiving. Namaste.